All right, everyone. This is the second episode of the Road to Recovery. I know it's been a long time since I've put up an episode, and I apologize for that, but I have been going through a lot. So let's get started. So today I wanted to talk about just the simplicity and the power of the Serenity Prayer. Now, this is something that I have said over and over, hundreds of times, maybe 1,000 times already. And sometimes I actually pay attention to what I'm saying, right? The words that I'm mouthing. And when you really look at it, when you really deconstruct the Serenity Prayer, it's pretty powerful. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, let's get started. So the Serenity Prayer goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So let's break down each individual line because there is a lot in each of those lines. So the first one, God grant me the serenity. So when you look at it that way, this is a grant from God or your higher power, however you want to look at it. Grant is basically a gift, right? God is giving you this. And the serenity, according to my dictionary definition, serenity is the state of being calm, peaceful, and untroubled. So, yeah, let me be calm. Let me be peaceful. God grant me peace. In Islam, when you meet someone, you say, Salam alaikum. Peace be with you. So yeah, getting that sense of peace and calmness from God is a major gift, and grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Acceptance is very, very big in AA and in the 12 steps to recovery. And when you realize, or when I realized that I could not change probably about 99% of the things that go on about me on a daily basis, that was a real big eye opener because I am a control freak and I need to, you know, force my will on every person and every situation I come across. And that is a recipe for disaster. So when you realize that you can't change the people around you, the circumstances, what some politician is doing, what some company is doing, you're going to get a lot more serenity than you have now. So the second line, the courage to change the things I can. Now, courage is a big deal because for me anyway, I've been living my life in such fear, right? Fear of being alone, fear of not fitting in, fear of people not liking me, all this stuff, fear, in economic and financial fear, right? I'm not going to be able to take care of myself, all that stuff. So you need courage to change the things you can. And really, the only thing that you can change, or I can change anyway, is myself, right? And part of the 12 steps of recovery is step 4, which is a searching and fearless moral inventory, right? All the resentments that you've had throughout your life, exposing, bringing to light all your character defects. And for me, they were many character defects. But the good news is that you can change all those things. You can change these things about yourself. I am very egotistic and selfish and self-centered. I've been manipulative in many, actually all of my relationships. Jealousy and anger and entitlement and all these other things, that came up during that 4th step. are really things I can change. Now, whether I want to change them or am willing to change those character defects is another story. But that's part of that second line of the Serenity Prayer, having the courage to change those things that you can, which is your character defects and yourself and the way you view things. And I was listening to this video this morning. I subscribe to all these YouTube channels that give out positive motivation and stuff like that. And one of the speakers in that video was saying, are your problems your real problems, or is your attitude toward your problems your real problem? And I think, yeah, the attitude I have towards my problems, or I've had anyway, is the real issue. I don't want to, or have not wanted to change those issues about myself and about the things happening around me. I've always had this kind of self-pity and poor me, and you guys don't understand what I'm going through. You don't understand how hard my life is. That's just a bad attitude to have. So having the courage to change the things you can, which is yourself and your character defects, that's a big one. That's a lot of work, and I'm in the middle of it now, and it really sucks. Bringing up all these character defects and some of the really horrible things I've done in my life. It's not fun, but it's necessary. It's part of that change that I think that we all need at some point in our lives. And then the final line, and the wisdom to know the difference. So being able to spot and identify the things you can change and the things you can't change is, I think, monumental. And it seems simple, especially if, I've already said, hey, I can't change most of the things that happen around me. I can only change myself. Like I've told my sponsor, knowing and doing are two different things. I know I can't change the way other people act or react to what I've done, but it does not stop me from wanting to do that. So, going through a separation right now, a breakup, I want to, control the way, Jennifer reacts towards me. And I want to, get our relationship back right now. But that's not going to happen. I'm catching myself before I send certain texts or before I make a phone call to her, like, what's my motivation? Am I doing this out of, the goodness of my heart, or am I trying to manipulate her reaction and her actions? Am I trying to make her do what I want her to do? And I've caught myself quite a few times, like, oh yeah, I'm being selfish in this. My motivation is self-centeredness, self-seeking. So yeah, just knowing, being able to identify the things you can change and the things you can't change is also a big deal. So yeah, 3 lines, but really simple and really powerful. I think the Serenity Prayer is something that if you live your life just by those 3 little lines, whether you're in recovery or not, you're going to have a better life. So yeah, keep saying those 3 lines over and over again throughout the day, as I've been doing the last few days. And it has made a noticeable difference in my attitude, in my happiness, right? Not happy all day. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say, yeah, I said the Serenity Prayer once and everything's great, because it's not. I'm doing the best I can. It is difficult, to say the least, but it has, this prayer has moved me in the right direction. Right? I'm taking these baby steps toward becoming a better person, and the Serenity Prayer is a large part of that. So yeah, I think it will help. Like I said, anybody saying those 3 lines: God, grant me this serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Simple but powerful. And that's all I have for this episode, and I will see you guys tomorrow.